All right, video on summations coming up here. And a summation is a very simple formula, advanced formula, I guess. And essentially all it is adding up all the numbers that you get. So let's get on with it. So I have a practice problem right here, or the problem I'm going to go over to start. And this is supposed to be an infinity symbol. I just wrote it quite sloppy. And you'll see this sigma. It is sometimes written like this. You'll see it. It's always rigid like that. And what this means is since we have a letter down here, always a letter down here. In this case, it's n. It's usually n. That's the standard notation. And then equals 1. That's a 1. And that is our starting number. And then in this top number can be like 6, 10, whatever. Infinity works as well. That is our end number. And so what we do is we plug in this value into this equation. And so when we plug in 1, we get 8/10 because 10 to the 1 is 10. So if we write that over here, then what we do is we add the next number, 1 up. So 2. We plug in 2 because we add 1 to this number down here. Now if it's 2, that's 100, so it's plus 8 over 100. All right, now we add 1 again. Now it's 3, plug it in, now it's plus 8 over 1,000, excuse me. And this keeps going on forever since we're approaching infinity. If it approached 5, we would just add the first 5 terms. And again, this bottom value can be anything, any letter. Top value can be anything that's greater than the starting bottom value. Now, we do not want to ever write this out. We want to plug this in our calculator because it takes 5 seconds, and then we're done. We get the right answer, we're done. Now, let me pull up my calculator here. Let me make sure you guys can see the problem still. Whoops, I'm drawing. Undo. Here we go. This is our problem. And here's my calculator. Oh, there we go. And to get to the summation, we hit Math, Up, which just goes to the bottom of the menu. And then up here, you'll see Summation. If we hit Enter on that, you'll recognize that it looks quite similar. And now it automatically alphas for us, like I showed in the last video. So we don't need to press alpha because that doesn't do anything. Because the first thing always has to be a letter. So just type N. It's down here on log on the left. You can use any letter as long as you use it later on in the problem. I recommend keeping consistent with the problem you see. We see it's n equals 1. If we hit right, it'll bring us to the top. Now here, if the summation is to infinity, put 100. If it is any other number, if it's 10, 20, whatever, put that number. Okay? So infinity equals 100. If for some reason it doesn't work, you either mistyped, and if you do it again and you're certain you didn't mistype, put in 50 and start going a little bit lower than that. But again, if it was if this problem back here was like n equals, why am I still there? N equals 5 to 10, then on your calculator, you would put n equals 5, 10. You wouldn't put 100 or anything like that. 100 just when it's infinity. Now we go to the right, and whenever we're writing a division thing like this, where it's in fraction mode, just use parentheses. And so we do parenthesis, 8, end parenthesis, divided, parenthesis, 10, caret button, remember that, to the n power, alpha n, right to get down, end parenthesis. You can never use too many parentheses. Just make sure they're correct. There is a way to make it display like this where 8 actually goes above the 10, but that takes more time. We don't need to waste any more time. 8 divided by 10 to the n. We hit enter. Takes a second. Calculation exceeds the range of values this machine is able to display. Okay. Now if we hit up, up, we highlight it, hit enter, it'll pop back down. Let's go back to the left. Takes a little bit on this calculator because it's online, but on yours you would be able to go a lot faster. I am certain I typed this correctly, so let's make it 50. And now we get an answer. 0.88888 repeating. It just rounds up to 9 at the end. Now, I'm not expecting you to have this fraction memorized, but the odds are this would be written as a fraction as answers. Now, this is another lesson. This is how to convert a decimal to a fraction on a calculator. All you have to do is hit Math, enter, enter. This arrow frac means it converts the decimal to a fraction, all for you. So I hit that, and it tells me 8/9. That's a nice simple answer right there. 8/9, our answer. Boom. Now I will give you guys a practice problem. Let me clear this. Let me find it. I do have to actually find practice problems for this because sometimes they do not work. You have to write them so they actually get an answer because some go on to infinity. Here we go. This problem, here, let me make sure you guys can see. Yes, you can. Okay. Your guys' practice problem here is going to be summation. K equals 1 to infinity. 7 over 3 to the k plus 2 minus 5 over 3 . Sorry about that, my headset just turned off because it automatically does that. But your problem here, summation from k equals 1 to infinity, 7 over 3 to the power k plus 2 minus 5 over the power 3, or 3 to the power k. So take a moment to solve this on your calculator. Pause the video, or you can do it along with me. I just think you guys should probably try it on your own. Using that method I just showed you. Well, I arranged this so I can show the answer. Okay, pause here. All right. Let me switch over to this. There we go. Now let's solve this. I'm going to be going pretty fast, just so you can check your answer, but you can slow it down if you need to watch what I'm doing. K is here, equals, whoops, it automatically went over, 1 to 100, right? Parentheses 7 divided by parentheses 3 to the k plus 2. Whoops, not up there. End parenthesis. Minus. The reason I can do this without parentheses, you could do it with parentheses as well, like before the 7 and then after this 3 to the k plus 2, like double parenthesis here, is because division happens before subtraction in PEMDAS, so I don't need that. But if you aren't sure that you got the right answer, or you get an answer that's not an option, just add more parentheses because the odds are your calculator's order of operations was just messed up. 3 to the k. End parenthesis, enter, and we get negative 2.1111 repeating, which should be negative 19/9, I believe, right there. And so hopefully you got the same answer I did, and that's it for this video.